Good morning, class. Today we are going to read the poem The Tale of Custard the Dragon. This poem is written in the style of a ballad, a song or poem that tells a story. You must be familiar with ballads that narrates tales of courage and heroism. This poem is a humorous ballad close to a parody. Read it aloud, paying attention to the rhythm. Now, here in this poem, it is said that it is written in the style of a ballad. Ballad means a poem or song which narrates a story. And you must be familiar with it that how it narrates the tales of the couragement of a courage. Now here the word is used parody. It means comic effects. Like it shows that some comic effects are there, like the names are differ. In this, the poet wants to use comic effects to narrate this story, this ballad, this poem. So here we have to read it aloud and paying attention to the rhythm. So, like I just want to tell you that this poem is written by Ogden Nash. Ogden Nash has written a poem about a little girl, Belinda, who owns many pets, namely a black kitten named Ink, grey mouse named Blink, yellow dog named a Mustard, and a coward dragon named Custard. The poet has described every character to be brave except the dragon, who is a coward. But the whole situation changes when a pirate attacked Belinda's house. No one else had the guts to face him. It was the dragon that killed the pirate. So, here we'll read about the poem first. The first stanza, we'll read it aloud and see. Belinda lived in a little white house with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse, and a little yellow dog, and a little red wagon, and a really truly little pet dragon. So here, dragon is the imaginary creature. And word used here in the last line of first stanza, realio, trulio. It means realio means real and trulio means true. You know that poets have the poetic license that they can modify or they can change the words. So that is why here in this poem, for to make it more in a rhythm, to make it in a rhythmic way, so poet used here realio and trulio. That means real and true. For these two words, the poet used his poetic license. That means he can modify the word. So that's why he modified the word and mentioned here realio, trulio. So here, the poet says that once there was a little girl named Belinda. She lived in a little white house. She lived with some creatures, some pet creatures, who were her pets. They were a black kitten, a grey mouse, a yellow dog, a little red wagon, and a creature that the poet says was really and truly a dragon. Now here in second stanza, here in this stanza, they were just giving the introduction. Like Belinda was a girl who lived in a white house, and it is mentioned about the pets she was having, like little black kitten, little grey mouse, yellow dog, and a little wagon, and a realio trulio little pet dragon. So it is mentioned about that. Now, next stanza, stanza 2. Now the name of the little black kitten was Ink, and the little grey mouse she called him Blink, and the little yellow dog was sharp as mustard, but the dragon was a coward, and she called him Custard. So here the rhythmic way of the poem is here, like now the name of the little black kitten was Ink, and the little grey mouse she called him Blink, and the little yellow dog was sharp as mustard, but the dragon was a coward, and she called him Custard. So this is the rhyming way, like ink, blink, mustard, custard. So here in this stanza, it is mentioned, the poet explains the name of all the animals that are tamed by Belinda. He says that the name of black kitten is Ink. The name of grey mouse is Blink. The little yellow dog had yellow color, and so she calls him Mustard. And the dragon that was a coward means was a weakling, was called Custard. So now here it is mentioned the names of the creatures are there in that white house of Belinda. Another stanza, stanza 3. Custard the dragon had big sharp teeth and spikes on top of him and scales underneath, mouth like a fireplace chimney for a nose, and a railio trulio daggers on his toes. So here, dragon, it is an imaginary creature. So here the name of the dragon is Custard. Now in this stanza, poet wants to explain the feature, the physical appearance of the dragon, that how it looks like the name of the dragon was Custard, and dragon had big sharp teeth and spikes on the top of him and scales underneath, and his mouth is compared with the fireplace because it blows fire, and chimney for a nose, that means the smoke which come out from the nose. So the poet compares his nose with the chimney, and mouth with the fireplace because it always blows fire. Who? Dragon. So that's why it is mentioned mouth like a fireplace and chimney for a nose, and Relio Trulio draggers on his toes. Now here Relio Trulio, again the poetic devices is there. The rhythmic way, that real and true. Draggers. Draggers means thick knife like structure. So here it is mentioned for draggers, it is compared with the toes of the dragon. Next stanza. Now in next stanza, it is mentioned here, Belinda was a brave as a barrel full of beers, and Ink and Blink chased Lion down the stairs. Mustard was a brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard cried for a nice safe cage. Now here it is mentioned about Belinda. They are talking about Belinda. Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of beers. That means she was without fear. She don't have any fear. She's a strong girl. And Ink and Blink chased Lion down the stairs. That Ink and Blink are having this kind of a capacity, then they can chase the lion down the stairs. Mustard was a brave as a tiger in a rage. So Mustard is a dog and it is very brave, and it just shows that it mentions just like a tiger in a rage. But Custard cried for a nice safe cage. But Custard is a dragon, but instead of being dragon, Custard cried for a nice and safe cage. That's why they call Custard a coward. So here, now the poet explains the inner strength of the bravery of various characters of the poem. He says that Belinda was a brave as a group of bears, and Ink and Blink were so brave that they could hunt lions. So here he has shown the bravery of the kitten and the little mouse that they could hunt even a lion. The dog was very brave and like an angry tiger. But to contrast of all them was Custard. Custard the dragon was not brave. He was so afraid of everything that he always demanded a safe cage. So that's why Custard was coward. He always demanded for a safe cage. Now in next stanza, Belinda was a brave as a barrel full of beers. In next stanza is here. Belinda tickled him. She tickled him unmerciful. Ink, Blink, and Mustard, they rudely called him Percival. They all sat laughing in the little red wagon at the really or truly a cowardly dragon. So, in this stanza, in fifth stanza, tickled, it means stroke. Here it means to tease. According to the dictionary, if we find the meaning of tickle, it means stroke. But here in the poem, we use this word as it means to tease. So that means Belinda used to tease dragon. And here it is mentioned unmerciful, that means cruel. Percival is a knight in the king's author's court, and it is the story that about the Percival that he went somewhere for getting something, but because of the fear he came back, and he was a warrior. So he just came back from that place. So now here what happened? It is mentioned Belinda used to stroke the dragon in a very cruel way. Ink, Blink, and Mustard made fun of him by comparing him to a knight named Percival. Knight means warrior, whose name was Percival, who was taught to be brave but ran away due to lack of courage. So they used to tease the dragon while sitting in their little red wagon. So that's all in this first part of the poem, and we'll continue this in next part of the poem.